Name is Babajide. I want to talk about something that is very important today with regards to living in Canada. I'm sure quite a number of people watching this video are either planning to come to Canada or are already in Canada. So whether you are in Canada already or you're planning to come to Canada, this video would help you gain insight into what living in Canada really is in terms of affordability. Is Canada really affordable? Can we really say Canada is still the same Canada we used to know before COVID and after COVID happened? What is the current situation of the country? So in this video, I intend to lay out some facts and figures about Canada based on my own opinion and based on what is obtainable on the website on internet with regards to living in Canada. Does it really worth it coming to Canada or relocating to Canada? Still, I relocated to Canada from Nigeria some years ago, and I intend to make some professional advancement and career advancement for myself and to provide better future for my children. So I'm very sure that quite a number of you also look for the opportunities to come to Canada, or probably you're also in Canada. So this video is to talk about what Canada really is at the moment. This will also help you to make your decisions as whether to still come to Canada if you plan to come to Canada, or whether to remain in your country. When you think about Canada, you probably picture a first world, an advanced country, GDP of over $2 trillion, strong welfare, high quality of life, sound dreams, like the Canadian dream. That's why so many people, especially from developing countries like where I came from, Nigeria, dreamt of coming to Canada. When I came to Canada, I dreamt of the Canadian dream, where we have good job, good education for my children, affordable housing, and I can make enough money probably to retire in Canada early or to go back to my country and establish something for myself. That is the dream we are all looking for, right? Yeah, to study or work in Canada, to start a better life, is all good until you talk to people who actually have lived in Canada. There was a poll that showed that half of Canadians live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Many are even thinking of leaving the country. Even as immigrants, I've had quite a number of people that have made up their mind to go back to their home countries because they cannot afford the living cost of Canada. Wait, but really, is this really true? Let me ask. Well, it is true to some extent. It is true. Why not everybody is currently complaining, especially those that earn very high income, which are just probably maybe 5 of not up to 10% of the working force in Canada. Then the question is, what's really going on with Canada? Is it really worth it coming to Canada? Let's dive in, because that's actually what this video is about. On paper, Canada looked rich, yeah, but in reality, I want to tell you, it feels very different from what most non-Canadians think. Let's go back to 2008 global financial crisis, where most countries got hit pretty hard, especially the US, and surprisingly, Canada actually came out of that pretty well. Okay, because Canada has strong financial institutions. They tightened the financial system, and they were able to weather the 2008 storm. Businesses still had money to operate, so the central banks uh, of Canada and Canada banks around the world stepped in, printed more money. Of course, when there was financial crisis, what the bank does is to print more money, slash interest rates to make borrowing cheaper. Like everyone else, Canada's economy still needed support even after the crash. But the problem was the US and the UK were dealing with collapsing bank and mass layoff. Canada's economy wasn't really it as US and UK's economy was it at that time. So, but between 2007 and 2008, the Central Bank of Canada slashed interest rates from over 4% to just 0.25%. That was really a massive drop, and for a country that was relatively stable, some experts argue that this was way too much. That how can you slash your interest rate that much? But do you know that that actually gave Canadians access to super cheap financing? People took on debt in their drove. Okay, borrowing money was very cheap, was insecticides. So, and the most likely area of investing of such funds is real estate. So there was huge investment in real estate. So the money that people found so easy to borrow from the bank were diverted into real estate. People started competing to buy homes, and prices skyrocketed. Demand soared and supply couldn't keep up. You know the law of demand and supply. The higher the demand, the lower the supply. So when real estate demand increased because people have access to cheap financing, to funds, the demand for property, real estate, overshadowed the supply of properties in Canada. And then because building homes takes time, approval, material, all those thoughts that are related to the bureaucracy around property development in Canada. You can't just press a button and pop up houses. No, it has to go through several cascade of agencies, financial institutions, approvals here and there. And then that was really when housing problems started in Canada. So it's put it simply, imagine this. After the 2008 crash, the US had full-blown issues, and then it's kind of had a contrary effect on this economy. But Canada had the same issue too with regard to its real estate. Okay, Canada had the same issue with its real estate. One of the things is that the condo that we have in Canada. So the big issue with Canada housing that we have right now started in 2008 after the crisis, after the crash. Okay, so that was the real estate, that was the property market for Canada. That's where it all started from, 2008 crash. What about other fields like tech and manufacturing? They are falling behind because, but it's not just about what happened then is also a mindset. There's high speculation in Canadian real estate market. Buyers, sellers alike. There's a lot of speculation. Speculation is house prices always go up, and the real estate or agent always markets to people, telling potential buyers why they need to invest in real estate, that they need to invest in real estate because houses prices always go up. But in resales, it is not really true. House prices do crash, and when it crashes massively. So people are deceived, let me say deceived in quotes, to buy real estate properties as an investment option because real estate prices always go up. And then greed is also one of the things. Greed is a terrible factor in Canadian real estate market. That's it. Greed is a very important factor. The house that doesn't want more than $500,000, somebody could just mark it up to like $800,000 because it wants to take advantage of the fact that people always buy property for investment purposes, and that people have been sold the fact that real estate is the best investment in Canada, that no matter how pricey, no matter what price is put on a property, there will always be buyer for it, which in turn creates a rippling effect. So once a seller sees that another seller has increased the price of his property, what does he do? He also increases it. So when 10 people increase property prices, it spirals to the next set of people, and more sellers increase their house prices. It's before 2008 crash. People that bought properties then brought properties at reasonable